What's going on, guys? My name is Aaron and thank you all so much for checking out the channel. Today I'm giving you all a quick but thorough tutorial on how to tie what I believe is the best braided leader knot available, the blood knot. Let's get it, guys. All right, so to demonstrate this knot to you guys, I have 30-pound braid to about 20-pound mono. Now, something really important that you're going to need is sharp fishing scissors. These are really important because when you go to cut your line down later on near the knot, you cannot have any fraying, or that line is going to fray into the knot and it's going to come loose. So these are really inexpensive. I think they're like $6 on Amazon. I believe they're Cuda brand. Get you a few of these in case you lose one or two of them. So first thing we're going to do is take our braid, which I always keep in my right hand, cross it over our mono, which I always keep in my left hand. You're going to get about 8 inches of leader length on each side. So we formed an X. We have 8 inches on this side and 8 inches on this side. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our braid, which is over top of the mono, and we're going to wrap it over 8 times. Now you can take this and wrap it like this 8 times. The best way that I've found to do it is to stretch it out, grab it with your middle and your ring finger, and move it down. Move it over, middle and ring finger, move it down. You're going to count 8 times on each side. I have no clue if that was 8, but I think it was close enough. So then you're going to see this wrapped on this side right here. Take your braid and bring it back in between your mono and your braid. So we brought it back in between that X. Now what we're going to do, since we went over with the braid, with the mono, we're going to go under. Now again, you can take this, you can move it under like this. The easiest way to do it is you have your mono right here, stretch your braid out, and then just wrap it like so. As you're twisting that mono around the braid, you're moving your hand slightly back to give it more space there. And again, you're going to wrap that around 8 times. Now, once we've wrapped that around 8 times, what we're going to do is we're going to come back to the middle here, and you'll notice this is going to be uniform. So we have 8 wraps on this side, and we have 8 wraps on this side. When we look at the middle here, remember we had our braid coming in between the X. So that is coming through the loop right there. What you're going to notice is it's coming through the loop from this side, from the back side. Okay? It's coming through the loop from the back side. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our mono and we're going to put it through the front side. So we've just created a complete opposite from one side to the other. Okay, so the mono is going through the front, the braid's coming through the back. And then what we're going to do, making sure our mono doesn't come back out, we're going to tighten up our knot just a little bit. So it should look just like this. Now this is the point where you lubricate it. And what you're going to do is you have to pull very quickly. So you're only pulling this end of the braid and this end of the mono. Don't pull the tag in. And then what you're going to do is you're going to cinch. Once you have it cinched down, you're either going to break it free or it's going to cinch. If you have it cinched, that means you did it correctly. And when you do it correctly, that's exactly what it looks like. So you have uniform braid on one side, uniform mono on the other side, and you have basically a perfectly symmetrical knot. Now I'll give you a little bonus tip here, guys. So what you're going to do is when you cut your braid tag in, you want to lubricate it a little bit. So lubricate that just a little bit. And then the best thing that I've found is to take your braid and your mono, your main lines, and pull all that down just a little bit to where you just have that braided line there. And then usually the easiest thing to do is I'll put the braid in my mouth and then I'll clip it right near the knot down there. So I'm going to clip it and then I'll show you. And the great thing about this knot is you can clip it right there at the knot. So normally I'd even get it a little bit closer there. And sometimes what I'll do, guys, if I don't have really sharp scissors, I'll take what I have and I'll cut it, and then I'll take a lighter and I'll singe it down a little bit closer to the knot. Obviously, you have to be careful doing that because if you get too much of the knot, you're going to weaken the knot. but sometimes that's a good thing to do as well if you don't have really sharp scissors. But again, these are a must-have. Just go on Amazon and order about 3 or 4 pair of these to keep them laying around the house. And then what we're going to do, we're going to cut this end as well. And again, when we cut it, we're going to get it as close as possible to the knot. And that's it. And just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to show you guys how quickly this knot can be tied. Once you practice enough with this knot, you should be able to tie it basically with your eyes closed. The ideal situation is to be able to tie it when you're out on the water, on a kayak or your boat, wind's blowing you all around. You need to be able to tie this pretty quickly. Braid over the mono, about 8 inches on each side. Wrap 8 times. Braid goes in between the mono and the braid. Mono 8 times. That goes back through the hole we've created, just in the opposite direction. Lubricate it. Pull your knot ever so slightly. Cinch down. And there you guys have it. And that's exactly what it should look like. You want to trim that braid and that mono down or fluorocarbon down as close to the knot as you can possibly get it. And that's the great thing about this knot is you can trim it extremely close. So that means it comes to your guides really easily. It's a very small knot and it's a very strong knot. The blood knot is one of the most difficult fishing knots to tie, but with enough practice, you'll be an expert. I personally use braided leader and therefore the blood knot on 90% of my fishing techniques. Comment down below if you guys want me to make a video on when to and when to not use braided leader. With that being said, please like and subscribe for much more fishing content to come, and I will see you on the next one.